Alright, that's it. Feminism has now sunk to a new low, enabling women to talk like a Kardashian and not have other human beings make snap judgments in situations where generating a well-developed profile of that individual is simply not possible. You think I'm joking? Well, I can't really blame you, it's off the wall cracked. But if Marinashutup is to be believed, reacting to someone talking like they just stepped out of an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians with a sense of disdain, or even having a slight subconscious bias against the particular speech pattern, called vocal fry, is just like horrible. With that being said, it's time to move on to the video, and you can see for yourself exactly how crazy things are getting.
This video is part of a series for Everyday Feminism, an online magazine that helps people address the violence, discrimination, and marginalization that they face through applied intersectional feminism. If you are anything like me, then you've often found yourself sitting around asking important life questions such as, why are we here? What is my purpose in life? And is Kim Kardashian a vocal trendsetter?
Oh, come on, don't bullshit me, those first two are lies and you know it.
Well, today, dear viewer, we are going to answer this pressing question. You might associate Kim Kardashian and countless other young women with certain styles of speaking, such as vocal fry or uptalk. These vocal trends are predominantly popular with young women and girls ages 13 to 25.
Okay, now it's really important to keep that point in mind. These particular vocal patterns are predominantly used by extremely young women. Okay, just hold on to that little tidbit, and let's keep going forward.
I'm frequently guilty of this as well, but no shame. It happens to the best of us, probably. You're probably most familiar with uptalk as the Valley Girl accent. Uptalk is what happens when a person's vocal inflections rise at the end of a sentence, making it sound like they're asking a question. This vocal trend first gained prominence in the 1990s and has since become the butt of many jokes, or more so the women that adopt it have.
Yeah, there would be a reason for that. You could look it up, it's called clueless. You've already referenced it here. If you're going to take a speech pattern and use it, knowing that that speech pattern was used by somebody who was pretty much a giant ditz and was plastered throughout the media because it was a bit of a, cult classic, you're going to get associated with that same ditzy attitude. Just something to think about.
Young women who speak in this way are often criticized for being superficial airheads who rely solely on their father's credit cards. However, when other demographics adopt this vocal trend, they receive little to no criticism. For example, George Bush gave a series of speeches in 2005 where he employed the use of uptalk, and no one thought any differently.
Okay, point one, you seem to ignore the fact that you're not giving any context to the actual speeches George Bush gave. And number two, it's hard to think less of somebody when your opinion of them is already in the dirt. Remember, he didn't have quite the best approval ratings going on after all of the honeymoon haze wore off regarding the war in the Middle East.
Another vocal trend that has risen to prominence in recent years is vocal fry, which is when one lowers their voice to sound deeper and raspier. Aubrey Plaza, who plays my heroine and life coach, April Ludgate, in Parks and Recreation, is a frequent vocal fryer. That's the technical term for it. According to the British linguist David Crystal, this style of speaking can be traced back to the early 1960s when Englishmen would use vocal fry as a way to demonstrate superior social standing. It was later brought back into mainstream use by Chicana women in California.
Yes, it's not the well-educated, well-financed Englishman using the raspy tone of voice anymore. So yeah, when new cultural influences hit a particular speech pattern, people are going to start interpreting it differently. No surprise there.
Unfortunately, female celebrities and women in the public eye are often criticized by the media for using these styles of speaking.
I think it's important to note that it's not just the style in which somebody speaks, whether they have clear intonation, whether they use vocal fry, whether they use uptalk, or it's not so much that, it's also what they are actually saying, the words they choose to use, how they phrase what they're saying. It's not just the tone of one's voice. So the examples you give will indicate somewhat what they may be saying and how that might be important.
For example, Kesha and Britney Spears are routinely made fun of in the media for their use of low, creaky tones when they speak in interviews and even in their music. Their use of vocal fry is criticized as an indicator of low intelligence rather than a creative choice to add style to their music.
Marina, you are not seriously going to sit there and be baffled as to why somebody would not assume that the almighty Kesha or Britney Spears is doing something like vocal fry as a grand creative gesture rather than just doing it as something that is culturally in. Seriously, you can do better than this. I'm sure of it.
And I don't know about you, but whatever Kesha was doing with her voice in Timber was just really doing it for me. Plus, she got a 1500 on her SATs, so she obviously deserves a little more credit than she's given.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold the feminist truck up just half a second. I thought with this whole intersectional feminist thing, you guys had acknowledged that there was an implicit racial bias in the SATs, and Kesha looks pretty white to me. Now, not accounting for, trans racism or whatever, but I think you're not really able to credit her SAT scores because what? Knowledge equals studying plus power plus privilege? I don't know. It's your guys' rules, not mine.
However, these assumptions that we make about people have much bigger real world consequences than just negative press about celebrities. A study published last May by researchers at Duke and the University of Miami showed that women who use these styles of speaking experience discrimination in job interviews. According to the study, women who use vocal fry were less likely to be rated as educated, competent, trustworthy, and attractive. The interviewer was then asked to pick between who they would choose to hire, and when given the choice between someone who used vocal fry and someone who didn't, they would choose the non-vocal fryer 86% of the time.
Okay, so what you're telling me here is that people have a preference for particular speech patterns and hearing particular voices. So when someone doesn't want somebody high-pitched and very shrill nagging at them, or somebody, grovelly and angry yelling at them, or, where some people much prefer Australian or English accents. There's nothing wrong with having a preference. Some of these are, these predispositions aren't extremely well founded. However, to look at somebody who is speaking to you like a Kardashian and then to assume they come from a very well-educated, responsible, and, generally well-meaning background, yeah, I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen.
The study also showed that female interviewers had the most negative opinions of women using vocal fry, giving these women the lowest ratings in the study. Do I smell internalized sexism?
Oh, I know what you're smelling, and it's not internalized sexism. It's called bullshit. Honestly, though, with the majority of the viewers of shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians being women, women are therefore most likely to be the ones witnessing this dunderheaded behavior, this catty, drama-obsessed nonsense, and having it be associated with this speech pattern. They are then taking this perception, all right, going into an interview situation and having to listen to somebody with this exact same speech pattern. Do you really think it's internalized sexism? Or is it just a learned response to a behavior that is given example after example after example of?
It's pretty clear that vocal trends associated with women, particularly young women, are attributed with negative character traits.
And so fucking what? Even if that's true, if you look at most young women, you get a whole bunch of shallow, catty, slut-shaming individuals who bash the fuck out of their own friends behind their backs on Twitter. I don't see where the issue is here. If you look at the majority of the behavior from a particular group, and then you make a judgment based on that, it's not going to be accurate in every case, but it is a pattern, and humans are very good with pattern recognition.
However, most modern-day linguists believe that this type of thinking is outdated.
Citation needed.
According to the linguist Mark Lieberman, changes in speaking styles are usually attributed to younger generations, and women's vocal trends tend to be half a generation ahead of men's on average.
Alright, I'll concede to you that little bit of synthesis. If young people are on average ahead on vocal trends and women overall are ahead on vocal trends, there's some reason to be put in there as young women would be the furthest ahead on average with vocal trends. However, there's something you're missing. It's not the woman part that's making people look down on it. It's the young part. You want to know why? Because most young people don't know shit. It's true. I'm still a fairly young individual myself, and I can tell you, most of us don't know shit. There's a lack of wisdom, there's a lack of worldly experience in the vast majority of very young people. You pair this with this same group using a particular vocal pattern, and you're going to get that particular vocal pattern associated with a lack of experience and wisdom. Has nothing to do with the gender. Might have something to do with it, but honestly, what do you think has the larger impact there?
It's not entirely known why this is, but some researchers suggest that women are more sensitive to subtleties in communication and social interaction, and therefore are more likely to pick up on and pioneer vocal cues. It could also be that women tend to excel in fields of language and use language to their advantage to be assertive in a culture where they may feel physically or socially dominated by the men around them. Carmen Fott, a professor of linguistics and author of Chicano English in Context, says, if women do something like uptalk or vocal fry, it's immediately interpreted as insecure, emotional, or even stupid. The truth is this: young women take linguistic features and use them as power tools for building relationships. While uptalk may be associated with a lack of self-confidence in what the speaker is saying, it's been theorized by British and Chinese linguists alike that rising tones at the end of sentences actually function to assert dominance and control. Speakers using uptalk exert pressure on the listener to respond, and by reminding them of common ground. Vocal fry is also believed to serve the same linguistic function, to make the speaker sound more authoritative. I like the school of thought because it holds a much more positive view of young women in understanding that they're actually really inventive and progressive in their use of language.
Alright, just so nobody misses it there, I like this school of thought because it agrees with my particular disposition as a feminist. That's what you're hearing there. It's not, I believe in this school of thought because it seems to have more credence to it scientifically. It's, I believe in this because it supports my conclusion. Well done.
Rather than unintelligent and superficial. Instead of holding age-old sexist biases against young women, it actually seeks to understand the underlying functions of their communication styles. So what do you guys think? Are uptalk and vocal fry totally uncool or totally inventive and creative?
Oh, come on. You can't just give the extreme up and extreme down. You can't go either full positive, oh, it's totally cool and inventive, or no, it's totally stupid and ill-educated. Just ask, hey, what's your opinion? It's like the stupid surveys that go, oh, did you like this? Do you like this idea? Yeah, men and women are equal. No, I hate all women. It's like, no, you can be in the middle of something. You know, give your audience a chance to go somewhere in the middle. Don't lead them to the extremes. Get good.
Be sure to leave a comment and like this video if you learned something, and subscribe for more videos.
Okay, Marina, even if I take you on good faith, you're only trying to help people here, and ignore a fair amount of the I only like things that support my conclusion aspect of this video, you still have to contend with the concept that people are not associating vocal fry and uptalk with negative aspects of, human characteristics because it's associated with women. They are associating these speech patterns with a particular type of woman. In the case of vocal fry, you're looking at people associating it with Kim Kardashian and the rest of her family. It should come as no surprise that when you're trying to be taken seriously, emulating the speech patterns of a bunch of drama-obsessed socialites is probably not the best way to go. folks, this has been my take on Marinashutup's video, basically focusing on why people don't take vocal patterns associated with Kim Kardashian seriously. It's my first video back in quite some time. I hope you've enjoyed it, and regardless of your opinions, I'd love to hear about it down below in the comments section. If you want to give this video a like or dislike, feel free, that's what the button's there for. And if you have any more feedback, you can reach me at Twitter. Also, JTViper1991 there. So if you have any questions, queries, quirks, quirks, or conundrums, you can fire them off at me via Twitter. Other than that, have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the video.